no idea if you guys can hear me. There. 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 Hello? We'll give it a couple of minutes and then we'll start. Black and red carbonated beverage, not a sponsor. I believe I said 10. If you're coming in, leave a message or something, because obviously the computer's off since I'm disassembling it. Drive. Gave you a warning. Pretty sure I did. I think I did. Maybe. This is the best part of a live stream, is waiting for anybody to come in before you get going, and then waiting for the time that you said you'd get going before you get going. So, and it's a bummer that I can't do any firearms or any kind of stuff when I'm doing a live stream. So let's see here. Kiki13, when are you getting some new guns and when are you going back to the gun range? I'm actually going out to the range tomorrow. Daniel and I are going out there. I can't show guns on live streams, so I can't really do anything like that, but I do have 2 new guns that we're going to be taking to the range, and I have 3 videos that I'm working on. I'll put up the firearm video tomorrow before I go to the range, and then the range video will be after I replace these computers that I'm taking apart for this live stream. So probably in the next few days you'll get some more videos. Thank you for that. Yeah, I've been filming a lot of stuff. On one of my drives I've got like 40 gigs, 50 gigs of film that or footage that I've shot, but I haven't edited it. I just haven't been in the greatest mood the last couple weeks. I've been fighting with all this false flag BS. It's right now anyways, I think it's the algorithm that's screwing with me, and it's trying to age restrict all of my ad limited videos. So I have to appeal every single one I've done. Now, luckily, I've only been putting up gun videos for like 2 years, so there's not as many. There's like 80 or 90, but it's a pain in the ass because I'm losing pretty much all those views that I would have gotten, and some of them are ones that have 15 to 20,000 views, and I can't actually even get those out there anymore because they're being hidden behind age restrictions, so it's a pain in the ass. If it's monetized, it seems to be okay, but if it's a video that wasn't monetized, they're just age restricting me and pissing me the hell off. So that'll be great. But also, I'm going to be taking out the GoPro Hero 8 so that I can actually do some target shot footage. I was using my phone for a while, but the sync rate is screwed up, so I couldn't actually do that. Now I have the Hero to take with me to the range, so I'll get some footage synced that way, so we can actually show on target shooting. So we will be doing that. Yeah, ask me any questions as I'm going through. Normally I would have it up on this screen, but since my computer is down, I can't really do anything. So good deal. I've always looked forward to your reviews. You bought the Rock Island. Cool. Yeah, Rock Island makes some good stuff. It was my first handgun. It's like one of my earliest videos was at the range. Was a 9mm/22 TCM Rock Island. That thing ran beautifully, but with the pandemic and shortage of availability, literally you can't get them right now, and they're like $800 now, which is BS. But I actually have the SAR K12 Sport, a little bit of a spoiler, that will be the one we're doing at the range. I sold a couple of my other guns, so. But yeah, I'm gonna get into this. I've got to tear these apart because I actually bought a couple of rigs from one of my friend, and they're gonna be upgrades to these. So I'm gonna tear these apart, and I figured while we're doing that, you guys can ask me some questions, or give me some comments, or tell me what you do. Also, as you're watching this video, that's a Thermaltake P5, that's a Thermaltake Tower 900, and that's a Thermaltake X71 case. And I also have a Thermaltake P7, which is the 90-degree case. That's coming in the bundle that I'm picking up, and I'll do a video on that. What case should I do the next build that I do a build in? It won't be in the one that's behind, which you'll see next, because that computer case is just not good for water cooling. So yeah, when my buddy got his 3090, he decided that he would sell me his 2080 Ti for a very reasonable price. And I know that's last generation stuff, but I don't need current generation stuff because I don't do like animation rendering or anything like that, so it's fine. In fact, this system would actually get me by if I really wanted it to, and this is an X58 with a 6-core 12-threaded Xeon X50 675 and dual GTX 690s. You've seen the motherboard and you've seen these graphics cards separately, but you've never seen them at the same time. They would actually be fine for me, but I want to upgrade a little bit, so I'm buying his graphics card, and then I'm buying a complete 6700K system with all-in-one cooler, case, RAM, power supply, everything except the graphics card, because I'm buying the 2080 Ti. But in order to do that without having to sell any of my guns, I went and sold a couple of my computer components to my tech guy out in California. So I sold him my 1080 Ti, my Gigabyte, which you'll see when I finish taking this thing apart. Very hard to get to this top slot. But yeah, these are dual graphics chip cards. I like SLI. And basically, including all the stuff I sold my guy out in California, I'm getting all the upgrades for just about 85 bucks. So that'll be cool. We can talk about anything you want, but I'm just talking about the computer since I'm taking them apart as we speak. And again, I do apologize that I haven't uploaded as many gun videos, but you kind of lose a little bit of your momentum when the platform screws with you or doesn't like what you're doing. So this one's going to be simple because I'm not taking the power supply off. Just got to get the motherboard off. And one tip for you if you build your own systems is when you take your motherboard off, put the screws right back in. It'll help you. But my buddy at his shop, which I haven't been able to go to, unfortunately I've been staying away because of the whole pandemic thing, because I'm health compromised. So if anybody's going to get it, I know it's going to be me. I've been purposely staying away from his shop, but they have a patron that is bringing them literally multi-$1,000 guns to sell. And of course they're going to do it because it's good for the store, and it also gives me content like that World War II 1911 that you guys saw. If you watch all the other videos, that 1911 was one guy's, as well as he brought me a 1903 pocket hammer that I'm going to be editing once I get the new rig set up. And I also have a Smith & Wesson 48-3 coming from my buddy. He just called me today and said they just took that in, as well as a few other guns. So yeah, so I'd say look forward to that because there's going to be some cool stuff coming. Oh, audio. So yeah, that's pretty simple on this first one. This is an X58 on an EVGA board. It's actually a really nice board. This is a classified 3, and then it has really nice RAM on it. But again, I sold all this to my buddy. This is 1866 megahertz DDR3. And I would Instagram from the range, but it's out in the middle of West Virginia where literally I get no reception. Verizon does not have a good representation out where the range is. But the reason we go to the range is because it's $35 a year. And $35 a year is actually a really good price for a range. Okay. Violating my own rules here. Let's go ahead and find where that screw went. There it is. I'm going to put these screws back in the case before I put the motherboard away. If you're just tuning in, I'm disassembling 2 computers because I sold them. And as another thing, we've been getting a lot of new subscribers. I get roughly 10 a day, sometimes more, sometimes less. Obviously, I get more when I put up more firearm videos, so I'm going to continue to do that. But I like doing tech stuff, and I like filming it, but I haven't been putting up a whole lot of it because, well, I just haven't been that motivated because there isn't a whole lot in the tech world that's really getting my blood flowing. Ryzen is kind of taking over everything, and the NVIDIA launch was just crap. So we'll see what's coming. In fact, I'm downgrading from a Ryzen 2700X to a 6700K because computer tech right now is kind of stalled out. I'm going to do a little bit of hunting for some bundles, and I'll also give you a live update now. If you guys saw when I bought for $375, I bought a ton of stuff, and I sold most of it actually to my tech guy in California. I sold a lot of it out to him, and then I built some systems, and originally we were at roughly $1,450 is what I made off of them. And what I finally calculated, because he just bought another $700 worth of those parts off me, minus the cost of replacing a few parts that I broke, I've made about $2,000 on that purchase. So hold on a second. I lost that comment. Bring it back again. There we go. West Virginia has crappy service throughout the whole state. Yes. Except for my buddy. I'm not sure what carrier he's on. I think he's on Sprint. They actually seem to be pretty good. He always has a signal out there. Me, I can send a text. It takes about an hour to process it through and send it out. So, yeah, that sucks. What else was I saying? My brain doesn't work. Oh, yeah. Off all that other junk I sold, I made about $2,000. Including a lot of trades and things that I haven't actually calculated out yet. Including that Tower 900, which I traded a case that I got for $20. So all of this is kind of floating around from that money. But this is the system that I've been using for a while. And I made a video about this motherboard. Sorry. I have a lot of medical problems, in case you couldn't tell. And I forgot to clean that off. But this is the computer that I've been having problems with, so I'm really not feeling bad about getting rid of it. This is a Ryzen Ryzen 2700X. What is that, a 5 or 7? Anyway, it's an 8-core 16-threaded system, but the motherboard that it's on is a Asus ROG X370 Crosshair 6. It's a good motherboard, except for the fact that when I had it water cooled, you can see the tank there, the reservoir tank, it actually leaked from the CPU block down the face of the whole motherboard down to the reset and the power switches, and I think it caused it to boot cycle, and it also damaged some of the power delivery, so it wound up damaging some stuff in there. Luckily at the time this graphics card was sitting vertically, so it didn't damage the graphics card, but when it first boots, it boots at 500 megahertz. It's a 2700X with a 3.9 base. It boots at 500 megahertz, so I have to restart the system in order to get it to run at full speed. And I can't overclock on that motherboard, and I actually wound up having to buy a new motherboard and a CPU for the guy I built the computer for, because I fried his board and I thought the chip was bad, but it turns out it was just the motherboard. But I've been rocking this for the last few weeks. And when my buddy finally got his 3090, that's when he allowed me to buy his 2080 Ti. So now I'm getting rid of this whole thing and redoing the setup. So yeah, I'm giving up this card. This is a GTX 1080 Ti. It's a Gigabyte Aorus 1080 Ti. It's not the Extreme. I think the Extreme had like a higher clock or something. But this thing was a really good card. It's still a really good card even today. It's faster than a 2070 Super. But he gave me more for this than I paid for it. So that justifies getting rid of it. And then he's paying me plenty for this RAM, which is G.Skill Ripjaws, Trident Z RGB RAM. If any of you have been into computers for a while, you'll know that this RAM here is like the most popular RAM there was for a while there because it has RGB in there and it looked cool. But I sold these because this is a 32 gig kit and it's, was it 3000 megahertz? Yeah, this was 3000 megahertz. But for the next computer, I've got this stuff, which is Corsair Vengeance Pro, and these are 16 gigabyte DIMMs. So I'm going to have two DIMMs with 32 gigs because overclocking on computers, the fewer components you have in the system, the easier it is to actually overclock it. So the next computer is just going to have two sticks for 32 gigs instead of four because it will allow it to take some of the stress off the memory controller as well as voltage controllers on the board. So that will be convenient. Also, I think I'm going to add some NVMEs to the next build. There's no NVMEs on this one, so I'm running 3 drives with a total of 7 terabytes of storage. But again, I'm not using this case. This is the Inwin 303, 303, which is an ATX form factor. This is where a radiator can fit or an AIO radiator, but right now it's not being used at all. I haven't run this pump or used the radiator since the last board went down. I will probably water cool the next computer though. The 6700K is a good overclocker with good cooling, so that will be good. The other reason I want to get away from this case is cable management. This is a nice design, but you can't use a lot of the cable extensions. Like these are really nice cable extensions, but they don't have anywhere to hide because there's no basement and there's no room behind the motherboard tray for them to really hang out. You can see how the motherboard, the 24 pin, is just kind of just hanging out in space, and that's the way it looks. And the GPU extensions sit down here, and they just, again, they don't look good. So I'm eliminating those. Or I'm eliminating that problem by going to one of these cases. Again, I need you to tell me in the comments which case I should use. Now, this case is huge. You can see this is a large case designed for water cooling, and it really should have dual loops. I don't know if I'm going to water cool the 2080 Ti. This case is a big case as well. It's designed for a 480 mil radiator and then whatever else I'm going to do. And it's designed, again, for water cooling. Air cooling looks dumb because this is all open. And then the X71 is also a water cooling case. If you can't tell, I like water cooling. So, but put it down there in the comments which case I should use. I think what I'm going to use the Inwin case for is a low-end system. I have a first-gen Maximus 3. Yeah, I have a first-gen Maximus 3 that I want to put in this case, I think. And I think it'll also be funny to try to bottleneck the crap out of a 2080 Ti using like a first generation. I think I have an i7 940 or 950 on that board, so we'll see. In the other cases, I worried about cable management a little bit more. It's not as big a deal with the Inwin because most of it tucks up in there. But again, this just, I mean, it just looks busy. You can just kind of see it from looking at it. And the case only has 2 USB 3 ports. And it's just, it's not premium enough, I think, for a water-cooled system. Premium? That's not the right word. It's just not the case I thought it was. So, yeah, things like this 24-pin connector. I didn't use the extension so that I could just jam this here so that the wire was out of the way. This whole case is compromises. No, we'll take that out afterwards. So, let me know where you guys are from too, and what your favorite video style is. Firearm tabletops, tech videos, ask me anything, my one takes. I got to do some car stuff because I have the GoPro and I have the windshield mount finally, because of course it came late. I tested it today and it works well. Except I accidentally put the GoPro in the freezer for like 6 hours, so yeah, I couldn't find it, but I went to Walgreens before I came home and I put it in the bag and put that bag in the freezer, so yeah, that was some cold footage. Of course. Oh, another update, because I haven't updated it in a while. The Chrysler, the 300 that got hit, it's getting repaired as we speak. The estimate has gone up to nearly $8,000, even though they cut two of the major items, one completely and the other one in half. Originally, they had budgeted $1,400 just for an exhaust system, but I convinced them that all it needed was one pipe, so that's what they're going to do. And they decided the taillight was fine, so that's been taken off. But they still need to do all the work, so it's $7,800, even though it never even hit the crash bar under the back of the car. So they're going to be doing that. Hopefully that'll be done here in the next week, because my rental is only paid for until the 4th so far. It's the other guy's insurance company, so they really don't want to be paying for my rental. But I also want my damn car back, because, you know, it's not like I wanted to have the car torn apart and the entire rear end ripped apart. But it's got to go to Chrysler afterwards, because it also has some mechanical questions since the accident, including a hum in the rear end. But my rental is a 2020 Mazda MX-5 Miata. And yes, I look absolutely ridiculous when I'm inside it, because I am over 6 feet tall, and watching me get in and out of that thing is a fun thing to see. IO shields, don't lose them. Come on. So yeah, this is the Crosshair 6 motherboard. I like the ROG stuff. It's good stuff. It looks good. It works good. One reason I really liked this board was all of these USB 3 ports. All of these USB 3 ports were great for my VR rig, which is a... I can't pick it all the way up, but an Oculus Rift that I got for like 175 bucks. But it requires a lot of USB 3s, and obviously those are great for it. So the next board I replace this with will probably be a Maximus or a Rampage or something for the 6700K, so it's going to have to be a Z170, because I don't think Z270 works with it. But I'll be replacing those so that I can run VR on the next one too, without a USB adapter card. So sound off in the comments where you're from. I see we keep on losing our guests, but that's fine. I never even peeled the plastic up. I'm going to do that now. Look, peel on a brand new card, or a brand new board. Just kidding. Yeah, this is going to my buddy out in California, and yeah, I did inform him that the board has issues. I basically gave him the board. I gave him the board for 20 bucks, because it does work. It's been my daily driver for the last 2 weeks. But it doesn't work 100%. Hang on one second, I gotta grab a couple boxes. because nothing like watching me stand up and walking out of frame when you're just coming into a live stream. Yeah, I keep my boxes for most of my stuff. It's actually a requirement now when I buy things, because you can see there on the shelf, like all those graphics cards and the motherboards up there. I won't buy anything now without the box that I'm going to keep, so that's another reason I've slowed down with my collecting. So I'm giving him the box, but I'm going to just leave everything installed on the motherboard. So what just happened? Ohio, how you doing, Ohio? I like Ohio. I've been up there a few times. When I was working at the dealership, I used to drive to Ohio a lot to trade cars. One thing that your local dealer will try to do to you, this is 20 years in the business, by the way, your dealer is always going to try to sell you what's in stock. You don't have to. In fact, it's very easy for one dealer to call another dealer and trade for the car you actually want. But you'll usually get a better deal if you take something that's in stock. I'm just thinking here, I need to fix this lower piece. The Gigabyte card was a pretty good card, except for this X-frame is super cheap and tends to come apart. So I gotta fix that before I send it off. But yeah. But again, I keep most of my boxes now. Oh wow, this one even has his AMD mounts. Good. I will put that in an anti-static bag before I send it out, of course. Nope, that doesn't work. Gotta take the cooler off. If you're subscribed to the channel because you are here for like firearm content or whatever content, let me know which content you're here for. I haven't been doing a whole lot on the tech side, as I've said before, just because I haven't picked up anything new really to write home about. But if you guys want to see something specific, let me know. That's right, I gotta give up this back plate. Damn it. You know what? No, I am not going to. I'm keeping the back plate, damn it. I sold him the whole computer for 20 bucks. Or the whole motherboard for 20 bucks. He can let me keep my damn back plate. I will give him the cooler though. Mine. It's all mine. If any content creators watch this or are here, or if you make content and you've had your videos age restricted, let me know that too. I'm very interested in that, because it's really bizarre that my stuff has gotten age restricted. Mostly my older stuff that was already ad limited, but it's still a pain in the ass to wake up to a bunch of emails saying that my videos are age restricted. Yeet! If you're just coming into the stream, I've been disassembling 2 computers because I'm upgrading. I'm upgrading the graphics card, downgrading the motherboard for now, but the amount of money I'm paying for what I'm going to is more than compensating for what I'm getting rid of. So let's see. Hey, it's okay if you don't know anything about computer and you like the gun videos. That's kind of what I realized when I started doing firearm videos, because I really wasn't planning on doing it. But when my buddy opened his gun shop, and then we started getting all these cool guns, and I was trying to find videos on actual reviews of them, and nobody had done older stuff. You know, everybody only wants the new crap. So they'd sit there and they'd put out all these videos on like the brand new Glocks and the brand new, you know, FNs and all that stuff. And I do that too. You know, the SAR 9 is relatively new, and the AREX 0 that I did was relatively new. But they weren't doing older stuff. So I wanted to actually come back and do that content for people and do some disassemblies and show you that stuff, as well as take them out to the range and show you how a novice that's not a shooter, not a professional, not in any way like a pro learns from shooting the guns. Because I've been into guns for a long time, but I've only owned guns for 3 years. And in those 3 years, I've only been to the range probably 20, 25 times. So no, I'm not a good shot. Well, I am a good shot, but I'm not like somebody that can sit there and hit from 50 yards with a pistol first try out. I've still got to learn long range pistol shooting, but with a rifle, I'm pretty damn accurate. If you check tomorrow's video, I'll put a picture of the shadow box that I have. I actually took the second gun I ever bought, which was a Chiappa, which is a ginormous pile of crap, sent it out onto the range, and from about 50 yards out with a 30-30 Winchester, put 3 rounds right into the frame and blew it apart. So it was glorious. Wound up costing me the cost of the pistol, which was $300, but best $300 I ever spent. Let me also know down in the comments, I'll turn this as I'm looking for stuff. Let me know down in the comments if you guys are gun enthusiasts, if you're having trouble getting ammunition. Because that's one of the biggest things I'm still dealing with. That almost didn't sound like English. But yeah, I'm having trouble getting ammunition, even though my buddy owns a gun store. Because I can't take away his profits, but I'm also not paying retail for ammunition. I have right now 4 boxes of 9, which are going out to the range with us tomorrow, and those 4 boxes cost me $120 for 9mm. ESD, electronic static discharge bags. You should always put your computer components in them. Even though the motherboard is borked, it will help protect the CPU from any electrostatic discharge. And it's very noisy. Yeah, one of the biggest regrets I actually have from walking away from the auto industry is I can't do the car videos anymore, because next to the gun videos, the car videos used to be what was my biggest bringer inner. Both in terms of money, especially the money, because gun videos really don't bring me much, but also the views, including the #1 video on this channel, which was nothing but a joke, and it exploded and nobody got the joke. I did a headlight replacement in a 2012 Chrysler 200, and it didn't go well. It was a horrible joke. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Even stuff like 22 long rifle is like $7 a box up here. I'm guessing that's kind of what it is about down there. But yeah, 45 ACP, holy crap. I actually sold my Kimber 1911 because 45 ACP was getting up to about $35 a box. Actually, the only stuff I could find was personal protection hollow points, and those were $45 to $50 for 50. $1 a round. That's 308 money. Good 308 money, like Tracer 308 money. So that was insane. So yeah, sold my Kimber, bought a couple of SARs. Probably gonna sell this one too. I only bought it because it was an interesting piece. If you Google it real quick, it's the SAR 12 or K12 Sport. It's basically a CZ Shadow 2, but without the rail. Should I give him this? Are there any stickers? Yes, case badge. Score. Yeah, graphics cards are kind of doing what ammo is right now. Kind of being a pain in the butt. Because if you're not a graphics or a computer person, you probably wasn't paying attention, but NVIDIA launched their 30 series, which is orders of magnitude faster than the 2080 Ti and way multitude of orders faster than even a 1080 Ti. This card is more than 90% of us need. The 2080 Ti was just flexing when it came out a year ago, or actually 2 years ago. And the low-end 30 series that's out right now, the 3080 at $700, is twice as fast, or in some applications, can be up to twice as fast as the 2080 Ti. for half the price. The 2080 Ti that I'm buying from my buddy, he paid $1,500 for it because it wasn't a Founders Edition. And this one is. Where is my glue? Where is the glue? There's some glue. Just gonna glue this back together real quick. Pardon me. Ooh, a thumbs up, thank you. I know these are random when I do these live streams. I don't care. I don't have any set agenda. If there's gun news you want to talk about, just let me know. I'll be doing, like I said, a bunch of videos. I'm filming a bunch of videos. I filmed 4 yesterday. I'm going to film 2 tonight, and then I'll probably film 3 tomorrow. But I just can't do like a 3-5 video a week schedule because, number one, that's just insane to put that many videos out a week on firearms because I'm not a big enough channel. I don't have access to that many guns. But also, I don't want to completely demonetize the channel. And if I do too much with firearms, I could get completely demonetized and then it would really suck. Because I only get a couple of $100 a month, $250, $275, but it helps out when I'm disabled. One thing, if you go back to some of the earlier videos, especially when I was making car videos, I was working for dealers at the time. I got into this way too late. I should have been doing this when YouTube started. I'd be probably like one of the highest gun or car people. But those videos were getting on average 1,500 to 2,000 views a day on those car videos, and they didn't cost me anything. But also, I was working at a job that was a 6-figure salary, and in February of 2017, I walked away because chronic pain. That's what I'm disabled with, chronic pain, as well as other physical calamities. But because of my disability, I can't work. So I went from a 6-figure job to a 5-figure disability, but it's only 5 figures because there's 12 months. See what I mean? If you want to start doing math in your head, basically I have to pay a car payment, pay insurance, and do things for about $1,000 a month. So the extra few $100 I make a month does help. And that's where you guys come in, just watching videos, watching these live streams, thumbs up, comments, all that stuff. You guys are helping me continue to be able to enjoy some hobbies. So thank you. Although there's been plenty of times I've been tempted to just go back to work and work a job where I could make $50,000 in 6 months, but then I'd be disabled and out of work for 6 months. And that's just a cycle I'm trying to break. So that's not even touching. Why are you not touching? Because that's not how you go. This is basically a cyanoacrylate. So it's like model glue. It's not really super glue. It dries a little bit slower. So I'm going to let this sit while I get a box ready for, or actually disassemble this motherboard. So this was a really good overclocking motherboard. As you can see, it's got dual 8 pins for a motherboard from 2011. That's extreme. Has 4-way SLI slots. It also has a auxiliary power for the PCIe brackets. This was the stuff back in the day. Ryzen kind of killed the HEDT market, which is the high-end desktop chip market, because back in the day, the only way to get more than a 4-core processor was to spend $1,000 or try to do things with Xeons. But nowadays you can get a mainstream processor for $700 that has, what, 16 cores, 32 threads? Or is it 32 threads, 64 cores? Whatever the 3950 is. I do know that when I get the new rig and I put it together, I'm not going to be building a water loop for it right away because I need to get a new cooling block. And on top of that, I'm probably going to have to find the new motherboard first. The good news is 6th generation Intel boards are cheap because those are Z170. I think Z270 also works. I'm going to double check because if Z270 boards work, they're a little bit newer, and I believe they have faster NVMe support. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure they do. Let's see. I appreciate that, but I'm pretty sure another big part of why I'm not getting as much attraction as some other people is I don't do a ton on social media. I really don't like Facebook. I think that's more for actual YouTubers. I just create content. And I think if I was more in on the social media side, I'd probably do a little bit better. I do post to Instagram new guns and things like that. In fact, I've been doing that for the last few days in a row. Also, like updates to other stuff. But when it comes to Twitter, I just find that not enough people, like established creators that I follow their channels, they just post for the sake of posting, and they don't interact with their fan base as much as they should. And it's kind of gotten toxic lately because all it's been is just negative crap, and I don't need negativity. A couple of the bigger guys I've been watching, they're just attacking their viewers, and I think that's wrong. You know, it's fine to have an opinion, but it's hard to enforce that opinion on somebody that, well, you don't know. So let's see. Sorry, I have to keep doing this because, like I said, I normally have it up on there. You despise social media. Again, yeah, I have Facebook for the channel, and I update it when I think about it. And my personal Facebook is just, I really can't do it because it's mostly in, it's kind of hard to say it without sounding like a jackass, but I get tired of listening to people I know thinking that, you know, making one post when, like me, they don't have any people following them is going to make any kind of difference, you know, especially when they do it nonstop. You know, Facebook was created to be a social media platform where you could just connect with people you know in a faster fashion. You post pictures of family reunions, stuff like that. And it quickly became political. And I don't do political. You'll notice on this channel, I've really never said which way I go. Obviously, I'm pro-gun. That's the only one that really matters, let's face it. And in terms of all the rest of it, my opinion shouldn't matter to you unless you're a relative of mine and we've argued. It's just like whatever Kanye West is doing. I don't give a damn. I don't care. He has no impact, zero impact on my life. So I'm not going to give him the time of day. I had a friend that lived and died by the Kardashians. Why? Now, I like watching a train wreck as much as anybody else, but I don't let it run my damn life. The lovely sound of ESD bags. Susan? What are you doing, Susan? Sure that looks graceful. On the gun front, again, going back to another subject that I talk about a lot, because why not? I'm trying to work out the same deal with my buddy who owns a more closer store, who actually helped my other friend set up his gun store. He's a slightly more established store, more inventory. They got a little bit more money so they can afford to carry more inventory. So I'm trying to work out with him to get some of his firearms, because he also gets the weird stuff like PS90s, MP5, or the SP5. I think that's what it's called, the Heckler and Koch MP5 sub, or not submachine gun, the semi-automatic gun for North America. He has one, so I'd love to do a video on one of those. Also, what's your opinions on revolvers? Because I have a lot of revolvers filmed that I have not put up the videos for, because there's very little disassembly required in a revolver. So those videos tend to be a little bit harder to fill with time when I'm not demonstrating them. So I'm thinking maybe I'll put together a video where I'll show a couple of revolvers in one video, maybe a couple of the same brand, or if they have a really significant backstory to them, like the 48-3, which is a 22 Winchester, 22 Magnum, or 22 long rifle Smith & Wesson revolver. Those ones deserve longer videos, but a brand new Taurus Judge, I just couldn't come up with more than 5 minutes of video. And those really don't get pushed by YouTube at all. Brackets. Always put your brackets back together too. That way you lose your hardware. Because this Noctua hardware is not cheap when you go to replace it, if you lose it, which I've done. It's like 25 bucks for a bracket set. And an actual Noctua cooler is like 70 to 90 bucks. So yes, don't lose your hardware. Let's see, do we got any more? Nope, I'm all by myself, but I got thumbs ups. Now, I nearly have these torn apart as much as I need to sell the parts I'm not keeping, so that's good. For those of you wondering, I'm keeping my cases, my power supplies, my hard drives, my fans, all that stuff. I'm keeping all of that for whatever builds come up, but sending all the other stuff to my buddy out in Cali. Hey, you're alive. How are you doing? I'm good. How you doing, Connor? And you like revolvers? You only have one. Sorry, the chats go away. I'm big on 1911s, but all guns are interesting. I agree there. I'm also a big 1911 guy. I'm thinking about some other 1911s to get. But after owning a Kimber, I kind of want to go up and not backwards. Although I will buy another Rock Island when one becomes available used. Probably a 10 millimeter, because I haven't had a 10 millimeter yet. Again, it's just there's not a whole lot to revolvers. I had one. I actually had a Rock Island M200, which is a 38, the 5-shot 38, and that one was fun, and it was a $200 revolver, and it shot fine, but didn't fit my hands very well. It had a very small frame, or I think it was a J frame, I believe is what those ones were, or a G frame, and short handle, so didn't really keep it. I only bought it because it was like 189 bucks on sale. But 1911s are what I like the most. Which is funny because when I was a kid, I liked Berettas. Mostly because of Lethal Weapon. I'm doing well. I do have a question. Have you ever shot a Stevens 320 security pump shotgun? I did shoot a Stevens 2 weekends ago. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. I'll have to double check. What did the rest of your questions say? I got extremely lucky and got one from a pawn shop brand new. Yeah, I know Stevens is an okay brand. The one I shot was a little bit older, so I'm not sure what the exact model was, but I did shoot a Stevens recently. I know they're on the higher end of the lower spectrum of those guns, but they're supposed to be pretty decent. We sold a lot of the 2-barrel Stevens, you know, the 18 and the 20-inch barrel ones, the combos. Have to use the box from one of my disappointing buys. Another AMD board I got from settle down, from a buddy of mine. This was an MSI board. Didn't work at all. Made me sad panda. Mainly because I wanted to put that 2700X on here, but MSI, when they go bad, they go bad. And there's no recovering from that, so that sucked. I will have to get back from my buddy. I sold him a shotgun. It was a Remington bolt action mag-fed shotgun, 12 gauge. I bought it for $100. It had a really nasty stock on it. We took it out shooting once. It shot fine, but I bought it for $100 just because I thought it would make a cool video, and we never did anything with it. So then I think it's sitting in his apartment. So if he still has that, I'll grab it from him. A rotary bolt shotgun, that's pretty cool. $380 is probably right. If my computer wasn't torn apart, I'd log on to one of my distributors and tell you, but that sounds right. It's probably $20 to $50 over. Matthew Reed, long time, not much. What's going on, Matthew? If you're joining me late, Matthew, I'm tearing apart computers because I sold a bunch of the parts. Oh, really quick, I don't know if I ever showed this on a stream. I love my dual GPU graphics cards. I was going to compare these to these, but this is as fast as a 980. This is as fast as a 960, so that's not going to be a good one. But yeah, I got these for $50. Dual 5970s, so I'll be doing a video on these in the other motherboard that I put together, which, let me see how long we've been going, about 50 minutes. Should I build the other computer while you guys are here? Have you had any experience with a Metro ARMS 1911 VR desktop? Yeah, I'm actually building 2 desktops, Matthew. I'm building my rig, and then I'm waiting for parts so that I can build a VR rig for my exercise bike, because my foot's almost healed, so that I can actually wear VR and do like 360 VR bike rides. So that'll be cool. But back to the Metro. You have to be careful with Metro because they're picky on their ammo. Metro 1911s, they have a deep ramped barrel. For a 9mm, that's fine. For a 45, it can actually cause jams. And it's something I learned because I thought it was the other way around. I thought not having a ramped barrel was worse. Having a ramped barrel that's tall is bad in a 45. They're not designed for that. They want a short ramped barrel. So just a nice cutout at the bottom of the barrel or at the rear of the chamber in the back of the barrel that just feeds right from the magazine in is better for a 45. T-Sauce is another example of that. They're picky on their hollow points because of the way the ramped barrel is shaped. It doesn't feed the 45 very well. Did you buy an Oculus 2 yet? No, I have not. In fact, I'm still rocking an Oculus Rift first generation. What is it, CV1? Because I got it for 175 bucks, and I figured that was the best deal that I could get at the time. And yeah, at the time, it seemed to be my best bet. Should I build a computer real quick? That's the question. Should I build a computer real quick on live stream? Number one, to show you how easy it is. Yeah, I think we should. Should we? Yeah. Mainly because the board I have is already mounted to a tray. So I have to go to my closet real quick. So I'll keep talking so that you can hear the sound of my beautiful voice and dig through a mess. Oh, it's right on top. Yay, I'm back. What are you saying here? Time myself building it. Tell you what, as soon as I pull this tray out and I put it on the desk, you guys can time me because my phone is kind of my camera today. So hold on. Let me put this down and get these out of the way, and we will throw this computer together real quick. And I just broke a computer. So put this here. I'm going to move this one out of the way. Just take this off because it's all I need. How about that? An impromptu, yeah, see, these are my VR stands right here. An impromptu computer build. Ready for some horrible cable management? That's how I've been rocking this one. Sorry, not sorry. Oh. Zune. Actually, if this one has one, I'll do it. Let's see. Display sound radio clock. Nope, it's a Zune. Doesn't do it. So we are going to use this mount and this fan. I'm not going to set up the VR today, so I need to get rid of this. Leave this out because I'll use this RAM for tonight. Move this. Oh, this is a horrible idea, but we're doing it anyway. Dang it. Those sounds are normal for me, but I'll throw a 970 on a first generation i7 board. How's that for you? Yeah. I'll even have to install Windows Live. But this here is a computer I've had laying around. This is an Asus Maxima 3 motherboard, and it's actually a pretty good motherboard, so that's what we'll do. 'Tis what we'll do. What the hell is this mounting system? I do not remember doing this. Okay, I gotta take the board off. Dang it. Yeah, it's an old legacy computer though. I was testing a water cooler on here that does not work. There we go. Wow. What did I do? What would be my recommendation for a computer and monitor and being budget friendly? Even though I've been a lifelong Intel guy, you can't beat Ryzen right now. You can get Ryzen chips anywhere from $100 for like a 24 or 3200G all the way up to $1,000. But I would say Ryzen is your cheapest entry point. If you're just using it for gaming, something like a 3600 or a 3700 would be like the sweet spot. You can get those for under $300 for the processor. You can usually get a 16 gigabyte kit of RAM for in the $60 range. Graphics card, again, anywhere from $300 to $500. And then like your hard drives and stuff, that's anywhere from 20 bucks all the way up to 150 bucks. But I would also suggest, if you're just looking for gaming, 27 inch, if you're going to go 1080p, I have a 32 inch 1440p monitor, but it's only a 75 hertz monitor that I have overclocked to 100 hertz. That's your frames per second, basically. If it's too low, then you're not going to see the benefit of a faster graphics card. But I would suggest, like I said, if you're going to go with 1080p gaming, probably a 27 inch monitor. Asus makes good stuff. MSI makes good stuff. Most of the manufacturers out there make some decent stuff. If you want high refresh rates, Asus Swift monitors are a really good choice. I like to use cheap inland SSDs. I do that. Inland SSDs are sold at my local Micro Center, and they seem to work fine. I believe they're DRAM cashless. DRAM cashless means that they don't have a dedicated DRAM chip on them. So if you get like an inland, let's say a 240 gig drive, you're probably going to want to leave 50 to 70 gigs free, just because it allows the drive to shuffle the information around so that it doesn't clog up the drive. You see a lot worser, badder, longer load times if your SSD is completely full. I have a 1 terabyte in my main system SSD, and it's an Evo, so it's got DRAM on it and it's fast. But for most of my builds, like the stuff I sell, I'll just do these. These are PNY 240 gig. Yeah, this is a 240 gig PNY. I believe these have a DRAM cache, but I bought these on Amazon. I bought like 4 of them on Amazon for 25 bucks. What's your EDC handgun carry? I see so many people change it up, but for me, I like to keep it the same all year. Changing up mess with muscle memory. I was the Kimber. Right now, I'm carrying that SAR K12 Sport. I'm going to be changing that up, and I'm probably going to go back to a G2C or a G3C, just because for me, the Taurus guns have been pretty damn reliable. I had the G2C and the G3, no issues whatsoever. So for me, they function great. But yeah, my preference is to carry 1911. I'm a bigger dude, I'm 6'4", so for me, a 1911 doesn't print very well or very much, so I can carry a 1911 no problem. If you just want reliability, like my buddy carries a Glock 43X, and he's getting the Shield 15 round mags for him. That's great for him. I don't shoot Glocks very well because I have that low and left because I'm used to a 1911 trigger. Yes, you've seen that some people have sticky triggers on the G2Cs. That is an issue. What I would suggest is, if you were to consider carrying one of those, look into Lakeline. They sell a trigger kit for the G2C, and I believe the G3, that seems to free them up. I would just kind of maybe lube it up a lot, or do a lot of dry firing. You can dry fire center fire guns. It's actually what most professional shooters do. Like with 1911s, people are always, why do you dry fire them? A professional shooter with a 1911 will probably dry fire a 1911, for example, this example, probably 20,000 times a year more than he actually shoots at competition. So if you dry fire it a lot, you can probably get rid of any spurs that might be on the plastic. Because when you have a plastic trigger, that's where it gets sticky. Is the G2C modular? I have no experience with them, but they seem to be a good little EDC. They're not modular. You can't remove the fire control group like you can with the P320, but you can do some easy work on them because they're basically Glock clones. You can just knock out the roll pin and change whatever you need to. But in general, when we were able to get them in stock, they were a very, very popular handgun for us. We sold every single one we got. So again, I'm sorry I keep on touching the screen, but Was I able to get a pre-order on the Xbox or the PS5? No. Honestly, I didn't even try. I was going to try flipping all that junk I bought to buy a 3090, but the launch went so terribly that the money I had made would have paid for a 3090, but you saw what they were doing. My buddy, who I'm buying his 2080 Ti, he got a 3090 EVGA for the Win 3 because somehow he was able to get one, and he got it at an MSRP of $1,800. But no, I have not ordered a next gen console. In fact, I'm actually sitting here with an Xbox One X. Excuse me. Yes, sorry, the acronyms are all thrown off. I was fixing it for my buddy's pawn shop, and the Bluetooth or the front USB connector was broken, so I couldn't fix the console. So I bought that from him. So I'm still sitting on that thing, and I haven't used it yet, and it's just sitting here because I need the USB cable that goes into the front of the machine. And I don't have one. So maybe if I sell that, I will. '96A1. 96A1. Is that the 40 Smith & W? I can't remember the model numbers. But yeah, my EDCs in the Taurus were FDE. I had the G2C with the black slide and the FDE lower, and then I had the G3 was just black because I wasn't keeping it. No, it was green. Yeah, it's the 40 Smith & W. Yeah, I like the Berettas. Those are pretty cool. 40 Smith & W is a totally underrated caliber. People don't look at that at all. Every year, Sig Sauer does what they call the Red Box program, and it's something to consider if you want something at a really good price that is even like a tier above the Taurus. Obviously, I would wait for the Red Box 320 program. What it is, it's kind of like for Computer World, EVGA does what they call their B stock. It's when they rebuild the guns, they recertify them because it might have been a warranty return or something, and then they sell them for a reduced price. You can get a 320, usually a 9mm, but the 40 calibers in the 320 to 370 range, and they'll have SIG night sights on them, and they'll carry SIG warranties. So that's something to consider if you like the 40 Smith & Wesson round. Any more Porter? I'm assuming you meant pewter videos coming up. Yes, I will be documenting the stuff I'm getting from my buddy from the purchase that I'm making. And I've got to order the blocks for the motherboard. And then I will do a full water-cooled build. Maybe I'll do it on a live stream like I'm doing now. So I'm just putting the cooler on this old first-gen motherboard. They don't fit. What was that? You like 165 grain for EDC rounds, the HST rounds trend to hang up when feeding. Winchester Rangers 165 grain feed with 0 issues. That can happen. You got to find the one that works for you. The mouth on the HST rounds are just too big. That is true. No, when do you use to do car moving, sir? Can you clarify that statement for me? Because I'm misunderstanding you, I think, on that one for the cars. I am doing a car review, though. If you saw the post where my Chrysler 300 got hit in the back, I was going to do a video on that car, but I wound up not being able to because it's in the shop with $8,000 in damage from a Kia Sophia. Yes, a Kia Sophia. Decided to murder the hell out of my car. Needless to say, Miam was not happy about that. Oh, come on. Yeah, I used to do a lot of that. I haven't done much of that since the whole pandemic thing happened. And my buddy unfortunately is no longer the general manager at the dealership where I used to do those. So yeah, I really don't have access to cars right now until he finally does something maybe next year. I know that sucks and I do apologize. This should be working. Why aren't you working? Come on. I'm having problems here. But yeah, I used to like doing that because I could get some long drives out of them and stuff. But I do have 4 cars that I can do this month or in the next month or so. And then my buddies' cars and stuff like that. So yeah, unfortunately, while I don't have access to new cars, we'll see what happens here if the pandemic lightens up at all. Because I had something in place to do all the new Fords for the next year, which would have been pretty damn sweet. Come on. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Having to look down is a pain in the ass. But another reason why I actually kind of don't have much in the way of being able to move cars is because I am not somebody who likes to be promised something and not receive it. What I mean by that is accounting departments at dealerships don't really like paying their bills unless you complain a lot. And the dealerships that I was doing these deliveries for were people I knew. And those people know that I hated having to ask for my money. Yet they still decided to screw me around. So yeah, I kind of walked away from one of the dealerships I used to do driving for because it would take 3 weeks to get paid. And when you do these delivery drives, one thing I don't think I ever mentioned in any of those drives is you have to pay tolls and fuel out of your own pocket. So there was one trip I drove all the way to up in the Hand of Michigan to pick up a vehicle. Cost me $300, including tolls, fuel, and the other guy, because of course he didn't want to pay for anything. So I wanted paying for everything, and it took them 3.5 weeks to pay me back, plus the hours for the driving that we had done. So yeah, I basically made them thousands of dollars by picking up a vehicle in the middle of Michigan, but I had to fight them to get paid, and I don't do that. And I told them that when I started driving for them, they do that, they're going to lose me. And I was the guy that would go out there at 3 o'clock in the morning, pick up a car and drive it. I actually flew to Dallas to pick up a car once. Yet they wanted to play games. So yeah. I always prefer to have people owe me money rather than owe people money, but it wasn't worth it, so I walked away from that job. Plus my legs got really bad. In July, obviously, if you noticed, I had part of one of my foot cut off again because, you know, why be healthy? And yeah, that kind of hurt my prospects too. Yay, lashed on my thermal compound. Eat! Okay, cooler is being installed now. So if you're keeping track, I have no idea how long it's been. It looks like we're at 113, so it's taken me probably 25 minutes to get to this point because I'm using the wrong cooler. That is horrible. I did a video where I built an entire computer in a case, and I believe it was 24 or 25 minutes. It was an HT-PC for my father. Well, since I'm not using that case, I guess we don't need to use that motherboard tray. So we will use something else. Come on. Come on, do math. Mounted. Oh, sweet. This one has USB 3s. Although no front USB 3 header. Ship. It's okay. That's why I have a USB 3 card. put some of this RAM in here. This only has to last me for a few hours. G-Skill Sniper by the Snipers. I'm literally using just a 5G Wi-Fi connection. I'm using my cell phone. And I have a Wi-Fi extender directly over my head. So if there's no lag, I'm really appreciative of that because I never even checked to make sure it was working, to be honest with you. But yeah, that diesel, it was actually a Tahoe, it was a two-door. That was pretty awesome until the oil pump failed and the engine locked up. Yeah, I had that thing towed back to the dealership and never told anybody. So yeah, that I didn't tell you that. Alright, let me grab a different motherboard tray. Be gone, evil demon. Yeah. We'll use this one. This is my test bench. I like to make messes. Ha-ha. Let's see. Although I kind of wish I had fixed that diesel. But that was when I was on the outs with that dealership. It was a very poorly managed dealership that was costing me... I was the floor manager before I had surgery on my foot. And then I started his entire internet department. And then he cut my salary by $24,000. Cut my salary by $24,000. And said the only way I could get it back, so my salary went from a salary to a draw. If you've ever sold cars, they advance you a certain amount every month. And you have to sell a certain number of cars to get that money back. Otherwise, you just don't make any money for the month. Well, the only way I was going to get that money back plus my 2.5% gross, which was my main bonus per month, I got 2.5% of the gross for the entire dealership, was I was going to have to take the dealership from selling 35 new cars a month to 120. And he didn't see the problem in cutting my salary by $24,000 while I started an entirely new department for the dealership, and I quit the next day. And then they canceled that department after spending $15,000 getting it started. And then the dealership got sold to a company out of Florida. So, yeah, I don't feel bad because that dealership sucked. S-U-K-E-D, sucked. That's bad English. Stop it. Just stop it, stuff. This is why I can't have nice stuff. Sorry, I have to keep looking there because obviously once I get this up I can bring up everything up there. Yeah. Yeah, excuses. Excuses are like a-holes. Everybody has one, everybody uses them, and they usually stink. And if you're some of my buddies, they use them multiple times per day. The most interesting part of this build is watching me screw in some stuff. Yay! He might be lying. I have extras. Okay, so now the motherboard is installed on the tray. I need a power supply. And I'm going to take the power supply off of this case because it's a modular 1000 watt, which hopefully will run a GTX 970. He says kind of funnily. Where's my big orange one? Get out of my big orange one. I was going to actually, I don't know where the hell I put it, but I was actually going to run YouTube on my Roku, but I used my cell phone to control my Roku because I don't know where my Roku remote went. So guess how far that plan went. I can't whistle. It's not even connected. That's not even connected. What is this? SATA. We need one of those. What is this? CPU. We need one of those. Power. We need that. A VGA. We need a VGA. Yeah, VGA. 914, so I need 2. Stick it in here. Yum. Oh, shit. What do you think about the way they crack down on gun channels on YouTube? I hate it. Or at least gun channels that don't have millions of subs. Like my itty bitty channel, 3,600 subs. You'd think they wouldn't, even notice me, but they like to be jackasses. That's the real term that I probably shouldn't be using. Shit. It's a mess. Go ahead and connect these in right now. That way to get these out of the way. Modular power supply, kids. You'd think it would make things easier. It don't. VGA. Super. SATA. Where's the other VGA? Oh, there it is. If you have the ability to, always run separate rails for your graphics cards. Gives you cleaner power. What the heck just happened there? Is it true that a lot of dealerships are owned by one big company like AutoNation, which I hate to death? Yes and no. I'll clarify that once I read your other message too. I love playing PC Building Simulator. Yes, I like that game too. I spend way too much time. I actually designed a friend's PC 2 ways in PC Simulator, made him pick, and then I built his computer. So that was kind of fun. But in terms of your other thing, the dealership I worked for was one family that owned 3 dealerships at the time. They now currently only own 2. They used to own 4. They sold one when I first started, and they sold another one that had been costing them money for years. So they're keeping their 2 that are in Leesburg, Virginia, which is in Loudoun County, which is one of the richest counties in the country. So yes, that's where they make their money. AutoNation owns a lot of dealerships. Back in 2005 in Minnesota, where I used to live, AutoNation bought the Toyota dealership, Maplewood Toyota, which at the time was the biggest Toyota dealership in the country. They sold 600 cars a month out of that dealership. I was selling independent used, and I didn't go work there, even though I had the opportunity because I knew the manager. But they were selling 600 cars a month. They had a 3-month waiting list to be even get hired as a salesperson. And I turned it down because I worked independent and I could go to the auctions and buy stuff. And I was also a moron who didn't want a real job. But yeah, AutoNation is probably one of the biggest owners. CarMax, obviously, with their dealerships, are probably another very large one. But here in Virginia, where I am, there's the Ted Britt organization, which again is family owned. It's not a big business, but they own a lot of dealerships. I'm still friends with Joe Britt, the owner's son. There's Coons, which again is a family owned, but they own like 14 or 15 dealerships. And then Cowles owns one or two, and then Malloy, they own like 5 dealerships in Winchester, where I live. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily always big companies that own the larger number of dealerships, but you will see that in any larger population area where there's a lot of dealerships, it's going to be one family that owns a lot of those dealerships. So there's that. There's a few other big names out here, but out here, AutoNation only owns the Toyota and I believe the Nissan dealership in the Loudoun County area where I used to work. So out here, it's mostly families that own multiple dealers, which is the way to do it. Although my buddy sold his Hyundai dealership and traded it for Buick. He was a moron. He did that back in 2006 or something like that. He made like $20 million on the deal. But now he wishes he had that Hyundai dealership because in the mid 2000s, 2004, 2005, Hyundai was kind of a joke. And now they are not. Whereas Buick is for 75-year-old white-haired old ladies. Except the Regal GS. I want one of those. Okay, so power supply is getting hooked up now. As soon as I find the right plug for the heater. Damn it, I'm gonna have to hook my power strip back up. No, I'm not, because it's only one plug. Because that monitor's already running. Yeah, that's still plugged in. So this one, we're gonna plug in. Yeah. Please don't start. Don't plug in stuff while you're building it, or don't power it on. Graphics card. I bought this when I bought that big bundle, and I've never used it, so until I pick up the 2080 Ti tomorrow, I'm going to use this guy. Nice and fresh since I tore it completely apart and rebuilt it. Yay. Smelled very badly of cigarette smoke when I first built it or bought it. I don't care if you smoke, but these components, when they're covered in tar or nicotine, actually that impedes heat dissipation quite a bit. And if you impede heat dissipation, guess what? Your shit don't work. Sorry, that was probably a little bit angrier than I meant it to sound. Okay, cheap keyboard. There it is. Gaming keyboards don't work well when you're first booting a system, so we're going to use this one. Cheap mouse, we're going to use this one. Wi-Fi, we're going to use this one. I have no idea why I'm doing this, because after the live stream I'm just going to bed anyway. What was that message? Hang on a second. Beep. Nothing pisses me off more than buying something from the pawn shop and it smells like cigarette smoke. Yeah. Yeah, pawn shops, you'd think they would clean their stuff. Although, if you find a good one, stick with it. My buddy owns the local pawn shop. First gun, he sold it to me at retail. The second gun was the Chiappa, which we all know the story about that one. If you don't, I paid $300 for it. I fired it 8 times before the trigger bar spring literally fell out of it, and it never fired again. So yeah. After that, he and I sat down and talked one day, and we realized we had a lot in common, because that was back when I had the Mustang GT, and he had a supercharged like drag style Mustang that he had just gotten rid of or wrecked, and he also had a Ram like my father's. So we kind of became friends because of that. But since then, he hooks me the hell up. Got a brand new Nintendo Switch from a pawn shop for $160 out the door. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. If you can find a good one, stick with it, because that's an incredible price, especially now. Spid HD2. Well, let's try plugging the drive in there. See what the spid happens. So I need to move this RAM out of the way. Huge mess. Hello ladies, my name is Hugh. Huge mess. Watch, I won't be able to find my Windows install USB. Because I don't know if this USB has Windows installed on it, or this drive has USB or Windows installed on it. Oh yeah, look that up. Somewhere. There we go. Yay! Yay! Timmy happy. Nope. Not there. Nope. Bills. Nope. Nope. Not there. Well, damn it. Nothing. Oh, yeah, check out this RAM. You ever seen RAM like this? That's Thermaltake heat sinks for RAM. It's DDR2. I just thought those were cool. I want to melt these down. They're pure copper. These DIMMs weigh like 9 ounces each. Where is the SSD? Where are the rebels hiding? We know you are hiding, the rebels. Where are they? You will tell us. Sorry, I'm looking for the drives. I have no idea where my other drives went because I'm an idiot. And I don't think I have Windows installed on that drive. Because, as previously mentioned, I'm an idiot. That's going to take a while to clean up. Oh, there's my good holster. Where is the drive? Bring out your drives. Alright, let's just see what happens. I think Windows is installed on this one. I think. Therefore, I Sam. Ha-ha! We have noise. I got a brand, let's see. Do I remember Lindos? No, I do not. I'm assuming that would be a cross between Windows and, oh, I didn't even plug in the hard drive. Windows and Linux, and I have never personally experienced it. Sounds like you have, though. Was it fun? Oh, I think I know where my drive disk is. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm back. I found it. Yep. Okay. I don't like chairs that have backs on them. But, good news is, this thing's running. 3.6 gigahertz, which means the overclock is still on it. I have no idea. I don't even know which freaking yeah, I don't even remember which processor this has. It had an i5 and I swapped it out. Let's see. No. Ah, CPU. i7 870. Yep. Okay. That's right. Quad core 8-threaded beast. Let's plug this in. See what this thing's got on it. I swear the Brony stuff isn't mine. It came preloaded from the factory. So what time is it? Hour and 35. We started at 52, so that took about 40 minutes to get this computer built. Detecting drives. Windows. Oh, there's Windows on here. Hopefully, like I said, there's no Brony stuff. VPN. Believe it or not, I don't use one. I incognito browse, but I don't worry about my VPN. Let me turn you real quick because I don't know what's on this hard drive. And I like my good looking lady backdrops. And I don't want to offend anybody just in case the one I'm thinking is on here is on here. If this ever boots. Getting devices ready. So this is a new install of Windows. So I think we're okay. I've heard good news recently that Nord has solved a lot of its gateway problems because they had that breach where somebody was using a remote access terminal or remote access link that the IT department for Nord was using. They were able to get in and hack the system. I believe they fixed that, and ExpressVPN seems to be doing pretty good these days. So I would examine those. Level 1 Techs is a good channel. He does a lot with Linux, and he knows more about VPNs than I do. But I just browse incognito, and the only websites I use are all encrypted. Like my distributors' websites are all encrypted, and all that good stuff. Why do I have to press a key? Pretty sure something's wrong. But I didn't need my Micro Center 32 gig, 16 gig memory stick. I keep ISOs on USB flash drives. It's just easier. Okay, this is my X58 drive. That's why I couldn't find it. I had it in my hand the whole time. Because, stupid. Yep. Oh, it's even the one that has my Forza build on it. But that's not going to mean anything right now. Will it connect to the internet? Ooh. Okay. No internet secured. Well, then why are you even connected? What the hell is on here for videos? Oh, some of my range videos. I guess I better copy those off and move them over. Why won't you connect? Disconnect. Now reconnect. What the fuck? Shit. Ah, there we go. Okay. I think this one has one of my accounts on here, so we'll see. Let me, yep, okay. Oh no! I have no idea what the password is. Nope, okay. Nope, okay. Well, I guess this version of Windows won't be activated since I don't remember my damn passwords. Oh, really? Looking up that Stevens 320. Yes, I did all of that just to look up one shotgun. Depending on which version you got, you paid about average for what they're going for right now. That is over MSRP, but not horribly compared to what the cost of actually getting it was. I can't show you my distributor's website because obviously this is for dealers only, but I want to point something out as we're talking. This will show you how bad the pandemic still is. Assuming Windows didn't just freeze. Hello, why are you not working? Sorry, this is probably really boring. An error has required blah blah blah. Let's see. There we go. Log in. Anyways, what I was trying to point out is how unavailable firearms are right now. If this would ever load a damn page. There we go. What I'm going to right now is the handgun section of one of the biggest distributors out there. Now, normally they carry 2,915 different SKUs for firearms. Now, that's a lot of the same gun with slightly different features, but they normally have an availability of about 2,900. Of those, usually they had about 2,000 available. Now, if I select in stock, they have 13 in stock firearms. And if I sort by price, the cheapest one is $550, and it is a Smith & Wesson 22 long rifle. That'll tell you how bad the place is right now. In fact, it then jumps up to 700 and then 1,000. So, yes, in the market right now, we are fooked. And I know you're probably going, oh, why is he jumping around and what he's talking about? Well, this isn't Ask Me Anything, and somebody asked me. Ooh, let's see. Let's look at another distributor once I log in. Where is my login screen? There we go. Log in. There we go. I am going to look for in stock. Oh, wow. They actually have a lot. But, let's see. Nope. They have 3 in-stock pistols. And the cheapest one is $1,143. Zang. Yeah. And this is one of the second biggest distributors in the country. So, yeah, that'll tell you how bad it is out there right now. Wow. That's bad. So what it is all these distributors are basically getting in inventory and they aren't putting it online. So that's a little bit of a half-truth about the availability of firearms. What they're doing is the sales reps for these companies are getting notifications of availability of firearms, and they're tasked with calling their stores and letting them know what they have available. So let's say 1,000 G2Cs come in stock and there's 10 sales representatives. They'll split those up so each one of those gets 100 guns. And each one of those sales reps then has to call their stores. And most of those reps have regions. So let's say in one region, like my region, I think our rep has 6 or 7 stores. So then he has to break up 100 guns amongst 7 stores. So yeah, you can see how hard it is to get firearms right now. So the fact that you're paying at least MSRP or more for a lot of firearms, that's why. In fact, a few of them that I really like that carry surplus stuff can't even get surplus guns. But if you're a company that does millions of dollars in sales a year, you're going to get more firearms. So, anyways, I'm going to log in to my own live. Let's see what's going on. Have you thought about doing scam baiting videos? Yeah, I could do it. I've messed with a few scammers, but I don't have the, I guess, the stones to kind of get into it with them. That would be a little bit above my comfort zone. So yeah, that would be awesome to watch. They are pretty damn funny, especially when they call them out or they erase the scammers' hard drives. I've watched a few of them, but it's just more than I can do. You're into that and computer videos. Alright, but guns are cool. Yeah, I have a very wide variety of things that I'm into. In fact, my interest changes. Some of the stuff I do, I don't film. Like I used to coin roll hunt. If you know what that is, coin roll hunting is when you buy $1,000 worth of half dollars from the bank in the rolls, and then you go through and you try to find the silver ones. And I've done that, but that requires a very large initial investment. And when I was selling cars, I could do that. And I used to do that a little bit, and I had a stack of silver saved up. But I think what I'm going to be doing is I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do video spacing, because I was trying to do them Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think I'm going to be doing firearm stuff Tuesdays and Fridays, and a computer something or other in the middle. What do I think of Citadel 1911s? No real experience with them, but Citadel, Metro Arms, Rock Island, and Llama, I believe, are all Philippine brands. So they're all kind of made in the same factories. For example, Metro Arms and Llama are manufactured under the exact same company. Rock Island is owned by Arms Corps, but they're made in the Philippines, and they're very similar to the Citadels and the Metros. So they probably have the same problem with feeding that the ramped stuff does. I would say stick to the Rock Island for a lower price 1911. You can get a GI for $425, maybe, hopefully, in your area. You can get a really nice TAC 2 Ultra in the 600s through my buddy's store. If you are looking for a gun, let me know, and we could probably get you set up with something. You have a site set up where someone could buy a PC off of you. No, but in my About section, I do have my Jiminy Show email. It's just the Jiminy Show at Gmail, or yeah, at gmail.com. And if somebody wanted to do a custom build, I could discuss it with you. Now, if you're looking to do something that's pretty civilian, just a regular CPU with like a stock AMD cooler on it, you're probably much better off just buying stuff locally and assembling it. But if you want something like my X71 when it had the full water cooling, or like this ginormous thing, ignore those stickers, by the way. The buddy of mine that gave me that had a sticker printer, so he started printing stickers. But yeah, he didn't need that case. But yeah, if you wanted something fully custom, we could definitely talk about that. But in terms of a site for people to buy stuff, no, not really, outside of Facebook. If you searched me on Facebook, Joe Pecoraro, you'd see that I'm in Facebook Marketplace with stuff. But yeah, if you want a decently mid-price 1911, I know I'm bouncing back and forth between both of you, but you're the ones watching, so you guys get all my attention. I would say a Rock Island would be your best bet for a 1911. What are your thoughts on Acer opening up Gateway again, and will they only be sold at Walmart? Yeah, currently they're only sold at Walmart. They're also, as far as I know, they're only laptops. They might be doing desktops. Let me open up another tab and see. This computer works great! Considering I just built it while you guys were watching. Just kidding, it's slow. I think it's pushing like, last time I ran this one on Cinebench, I think this one ran like 500, even overclocked. But we can look stuff up live. Gateway. I liked Gateway. In fact, up here, that monitor, I bought that monitor when I moved here from Minnesota. That's a Gateway monitor. It's a 24-inch. I bought it in 2011, and it was an HDMI one. So, oh, they're doing tablets too. So let me see what comes up. I mean, basically, what Gateway's doing is, we don't need to look at that. We don't need to look at that. I don't care. Amazon Assistant. I'm looking at Walmart. But their price actually seems, oh no, that's cheap because that's a Chromebook style. No, that's a notebook. Let's see, for a, I want to find one that has something decent. $799, 1650 GTX, 8 gigabytes of RAM. See, that's always the downside to these cheaper laptops. They don't give you enough RAM. Although you can get DDR4 SODIMMs cheap, so don't let that stop you. But $799, I don't think that's a great price. I've had no problem with them. My girlfriend has an Acer Predator, the new one, and it's awesome. Yeah, Acer's a perfectly good brand. I've never had a problem with them either. The only brand of computer I think I've ever really run into an issue with is the HP and Dell, and even they've kind of gotten away from the problem they had. Although I just built one for a guy. I sold him a 980 Ti, and he brought over his HP because it was a small form factor build. And I wound up actually giving him a case because he bought a 980 Ti from me, and he couldn't actually put it in his system. But yeah, Dell likes to use proprietary connectors, and so does HP. So it's hard to case swap those. But the Acer seems to be pretty good. The Predator makes a beautiful laptop. The last gaming laptop I actually had was an ROG G52V whatever. It actually only had a 980 graphics processor in it, but it was a 6700 HQ processor. So yeah, I like them. What are we at? I have no idea. 112 minutes. We're getting close to 2 hours. I think we're going to end this one pretty soon here, actually, because we built this. Yeah, that says Eat Jeep JDM. He bought a Chevy. And then sorry about your small penis, and he made it in pink. But let's see. Say something. Say something. Yeah, it's been a long time, actually. It's been quite a long time, I think. I know that you've left me some messages and we've answered back, but I haven't done a live stream in probably, what, 3 months? So, I'll probably do one when I build the loop for the next computer. Yes. But again, since I have you on the line here still, which case should I build it in? The X71, which was what my last gaming rig was in, the Tower 900, which I think I would have to water cool the GPU to make that worth it, or the P5, or the P7. So which one should I build into? Ha, yeah. He's a young dude. He had a Subaru, now he has a Chevy, so that's why he was all JDM. He actually had a really nice Subaru. He had a WRX with an STI motor swap. So you say the P7. Well, I'm going to be picking that up tomorrow afternoon, and that's the one that has the P5 front, and then it has the 90-degree water or radiator addition on the side. So I'll set that up, and then we'll have to see how that looks, because I do have a 480 and a 560 rad that I could use. So that's one vote for the P70. I think it's black too. All these are gunmetal. Well, no, this one's black, but I think all the rest are gunmetal. So I think I would like to build a black pewter again. So we'll just have to wait and see what I can put in it too, because I don't want a case that's huge with not a lot in it. That's why I haven't used that X71 again, because I think I would want a dual CPU board for that one. I should do more streams. I'd like to. I don't really know what to really talk about because I don't do like current events and things like that. And I mean, other than doing this, sitting here and just talking to you guys, if you guys like doing that kind of stuff, I'd do that. Because otherwise I'd be sitting and talking to myself. And that's kind of weird. But yeah, no, this thing's working great. Let's see. Actually, here's a good deal for you. You may want to keep your eyes on this because this may actually go down in price if you're looking for one. They've got a i5-1035G with 16 gigs of RAM and a 250 gig SSD for $479. And you know that this being November, that's probably going to be one that goes on Black Friday sale for probably like $325 or $350. So that's one to keep your eye on. Just an open show, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I don't think so either. Plus, this is kind of like I said, this is the Ask Me Anything, because I do respond to all the comments that come in, but this allows me to do it quicker. Although some of the comments are repetitive. There's a few comments I don't answer anymore. I really don't answer anything on the headlight video. That one is pretty self-explanatory no matter how many times I've explained it. And it's when people have never watched the whole video all the way through, where I clearly show you can't get to the bulbs, but they still put in their idiotic comments. And then the Chiappa video. People hate that I hate on Chiappa. I don't know why. It's like they've never shot one. The only cool thing they sell is the Rhino, and the Rhino has a history of cracking the bridge for the cylinder in transit because it's not properly heat treated. So you have an Asus ROG and you love it. Yeah, I think ROG makes a beautiful laptop. They make beautiful graphics cards. I usually, like when I had all my 1080 Ti's, they were usually ROGs, except for this Gigabyte one that I just sold because it was cheap. So, oh yes, I guarantee all the Black Friday stuff. And Walmart has actually said they're going to be starting them early. So throughout the month, they're probably going to do like spontaneous sales. Even Amazon keeps on hitting my mailbox with pre-Black Friday for you only sales events. And I mean, they're all jokes, but I'm keeping my eyes open because if something comes up that I need. Like this GoPro isn't actually mine. This one actually belongs to my father. He wanted to start a channel because he builds guitars, but with my health and my foot the last few months, we haven't really been able to collab and do that. We're going to get into that. With an i7 6700 at 2.6 gigahertz. Yeah, that's what I had pretty much. I had the 67HQ, but the 6700 and the 6700K, Skylake changed the game for NVIDIA for a good 3 years. But the problem is NVIDIA, or excuse me, why do I keep saying NVIDIA? Intel. But Intel stuck with it too damn long. Everything's a Lake processor. They're all 14, 16, 10 nanometers coming, but they've sat on it too long. A 6700K overclocked or even a 6700 is more than capable of keeping up with today's games. A 2080 Ti is going to bottleneck on a 6700K, but not much. So, oh yeah, I bought one for my buddy 2 years ago, and it's still his daily driver, and he plays all of his games on there. He plays Call of Duty on it. Again, has a 980 chipset in it, 24 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, backup hard drive. He had a Blu-ray player in it, but he was ripping so many DVDs that he actually killed that. But like I said, the 6700K, 4 core, 8 threads, is still a decent processor for gaming. Much lower than 4 cores, I don't recommend though. Yeah, we're just about hitting 2 hours. So, Matthew and Kiki, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Yeah, live stream is easy to do. It won't get demonetized. I get to hang out and talk with people and listen to what they like. You should have your dad do a live stream with you, and he could talk about guitars too and get ready for his own channel. We're thinking about that. He actually bought everything to do a killer setup. He has a good video capture. He bought a DAC, really good microphone. He's got everything he needs to do it, but he's never really done videos, and he wants me to help him. But since I've been recovering and trying to heal, we haven't really been able to, because he's 2 floors above me, so I haven't been able to help him. So I will start helping him. So, but yeah. Yeah, see? GTX 1060, perfectly fine. I sell cheap, lower-end PC builds with RX 570s in them that can still run Apex Legends and, Fortnite and all those games. A 1060 is perfectly good. You can run VR on a 1060. It's a little bit slower, but yeah, you can always run it. You too, Kiki. Thank you again for coming and hanging out. And then just check, I'll post at least in the morning before I do my next live stream, because it's just been a while since I did a live stream. So I just kind of decided to do this one tonight when I had to tear apart those 2 computers. So, yeah. So thanks again. Appreciate it. Thanks for the thumbs up. And yeah, that's awesome. And somebody else just jumped in. Who are you? Who are you? Are you worth me keeping the live stream going? Say something. It's 11. Yeah, it's midnight for me, so I'm going to be getting off to bed too. So, oh, that's an emoji. Sorry. My eyes suck. So, yeah, cool. All right, guys, 2 hours. I think that's good for a live stream. Thanks for checking it out. Again, I'll do a 1 take on my phone and upload it tomorrow, so a gun video's up. And then I'll do the pickup of the computer for Wednesday. And I'll put up a video on computers for that. And then I have to do the video for the Mazda rental, and I'll put that up on Thursday, if I get the computer up and running on Wednesday. We'll see. So, cool, guys. Appreciate it. I'm going to end the stream. So, let's see. How do I do this? I think I just go over to here. X. You're okay, guys. See ya. No. Yay, button.